Let's look at a lesson from SIRI Kannada grade 9. The name of this lesson is PRAJAANISHTE and it is written by Sashi Marulaya. Praja means citizens and Nishthe means loyalty or sincerity. So this title meaning is the loyalty or the sincerity of the citizens. So this is a story about the great king Vishnuvardhana from the Hoysala dynasty and his wife Shantala. So this is an incident where Shantala comes to know how sincere and how loyal the citizens are towards the king and the kingdom. So this is the story that how she comes to know about how loyal and sincere the citizens are. So I will first explain this complete lesson in English and then we will look at the lesson paragraph by paragraph we will see and I will explain the meanings. So now this is the part 1 of the video where I am going to explain this complete lesson in English. So as the Hoysala dynasty progressed rapidly, the fame of King Vishnuvardhana, it spread all around. And the other kings were red-faced with hate and jealousy. Because he was becoming very popular, Vishnuvardhana was becoming very, very popular and very powerful, the other kings did not like it. And they wanted to defeat and try to remove him. So they were waiting for opportunities to get rid of him. Among them, among his enemies, among the enemies of Vishnuvardhana, was a Chola king, Kalotunga. So Kalotunga was he was very wanting to become more powerful than Vishnuvardhana and so he was waiting for an opportunity to defeat him. So the Cholas had captured the Ganga dynasty and the capital Talekadu. So this Talekadu and the Ganga dynasty was now under the control of the Cholas. This Chola had a deputy. His name was Adiyama. And he asked that deputy to oversee Talekadu. And Kalotunga, since he was very ambitious, he wanted to be the ruler of the whole of India. So he also wished to conquer the Hoysala dynasty and urged Adiyama to attack Vishnuvardhana. Vishnuvardhana comes to know about this through one of his spies and he prepares for a war. So in the year 1038, the army from Dwarasamudra is the capital of the Hoysala dynasty. It moves towards Talekadu and there is a fierce battle which takes place near a place called as Malavalli. The Hoysalas win the war and Adiyama is killed. Upon hearing the death of their chief, the army is scattered and they run helter-skelter. So now Vishnuvardhana is away, right? He is away fighting a war. So the responsibility of taking care of the kingdom and to protect the kingdom from the attack of any other enemies was the queen's responsibility. So she was prepared to face any kind of trouble. And Prince Udayaditya was assisting her. So the queen sometimes would go in disguise into the kingdom to check the welfare of the citizens. So one such day, one early morning, Shantala disguises herself as in male clothes and along with the prince Udayaditya, she goes out of the gates of Dwarasamudra and she goes to oversee the southern part of her kingdom. And by evening they reach a village called as Banadammanahalli. On the outskirts of the village, a majestic temple of goddess Banashankari was glowing. So she thought that she could just go to the temple, take the blessings of the goddess and then continue her journey. So when she is entering or going towards the temple, she observes that the front part of the temple there was a platform and many people have assembled there. And it looked like they had assembled to solve a dispute. So Shantala thought it could be a dispute among the villagers and they have assembled a panchayat for giving a judgment. But this was a new kind of request. So she hid herself behind a tree and keenly listened to what they were discussing. So a person named Ketamalla Nayaka was explaining the problem to the village elders. So a person named Biranna had sold his land, his field, to a person named Iranna for 108 gold coins, which was years back. So Biranna sold his land to Iranna for 108 gold coins, which was this had happened 2 years back. And one day when Iranna was plowing his field, he finds a huge vessel with gold inside. So Iranna, he worships it and takes it to return it back to Biranna. And he goes to Biranna, tells him that maybe your ancestors have kept this treasure for you. Now Biranna refuses to take it. He says that since he has already sold the field to Iranna, it now belongs to Iranna and he has no rights on it. Biranna says that he paid money only for the land, only for that field and not for the treasure that was found inside the field. And so he also refuses to take it. So like this back and forth the argument goes on. So the village elders thought that since both did not want it, they could give the treasure to the king and it could be used for the welfare of the kingdom. Immediately Shantala, who was hiding behind the tree, comes shouting, saying, "You should not do it, you should not do it." So all the villagers turned towards her and as I had mentioned earlier, she was disguised in male clothes. So they thought it was a man coming there. And they asked that man who was he and asked why did he stop them from giving that to the king. For which Shantala, who is again disguised as a man, replies that the treasure found is not the king's earnings. It is all the sweat and hard work of the citizens. So you should not give it to the king, it should be with the citizens. So for which the villagers ask, the treasure, okay, you say that the treasure is that of the citizens. But who are the citizens? Aren't they the children of the king? And so this is what they ask her. Don't you think that the citizens are all the children of the king? For which Shantala is unable to give any answer. And then Ketamalla continues saying, these citizens are the children of the king. So the king is like our father. And whatever we have earned, it also belongs to our father. So Shantala now replies, why can't you use this money for the welfare of your own village? Why do you want to give it to the king? For which Ketamalla replies that we are not so selfish, and he also says that we have such great king and queen. We do not have any need for money because they are taking care of everything, all our needs. And we are also content and happy in our village. We don't need anything new or anything to be done for our village. We are very contented and we are very happy that our great king and queen are taking care of us so well. And even if anything is required for our village, we are capable of doing it for ourselves. We can afford it ourselves. We don't need the help of the king or the queen. So this money is for the king and let him use it to safeguard this land. On hearing Ketamalla's words, Udayaditya says the king should be so fortunate to have all of you as his citizens. Ketamalla says that we are fortunate to have them as our king and queen. So now Udayaditya comes forward saying that it is our good fortune to be united with you all. And he removes the turban and the moustache from Shantala and asks all the villagers if they could identify who it was. Then the villagers come to know it is the Queen Shantala and they feel like they were in heaven. And there was no limit for their joy or happiness. So now Shantala tells to them that the treasure found will be used for religious purposes. She says this treasure is God given. So let us use it for God, for the purpose of God or for religious purposes. And as a proof of our rich culture, let us construct a temple which is rich in sculpture and art in Dwarasamudra. So they decide to build a twin temple. And now the village elder, Ketamallappa, right? He was the one who was talking on behalf of the citizens and telling that everything is for the king. We are all the children of the king. So, to honor him, Shantala decides to name the temple after him. Name the temple after Ketamallappa. So everybody agrees in unison and they hail the queen. So the queen first, she comes to realize or comes to know how loyal her citizens are towards her. And she also, on her side, she also is very wanting to do a lot to all her citizens who are so sincere and so loyal to her. So this is the story. Now in part 2, I will let's read the lesson and I will explain the meaning, and each paragraph we will go through.